Hello, I'm Laura. I work at the Merc Co+op, and today I'm going to show you how to make a blueberry crumble for two. That's the sound of my oven preheating, and that's going to be the first thing you do. With the adult in your life, you are going to turn your oven on to 375 degrees. Then you'll wash your hands, and if you have long hair like mine, make sure that it's tied back and out of your way. And the next step, the most important one before you start, is to read through your recipe. So when you're learning how to bake, it's very important to remember that baking is a science and that you need to do everything in a certain order and with just the right quantities for the recipe to turn out like you expect. So if you haven't had a chance to look through your recipe and see what's coming, pause the video now and take a look because it's a very important step. Now, it's also helpful to have all the ingredients that you need ready. It makes baking a lot easier if everything is set out for you. So we have two parts to this recipe. There is the blueberry base, and then there is the crumbly topping. So first we're just going to talk about the blueberry base. We have 2 cups of blueberries and sugar and vanilla. We're just going to mix those together. Make sure your bowl is big enough so that you don't lose any blueberries. Add your vanilla. And then just stir that all together and set it aside for a second. So everything's nice and coated. And again, feel free to pause the video at any time so you can keep up with the steps. There's no rush. So, once you have that all mixed up, we're going to divide this between our 2 bowls. And so I have 2 little dishes here. It's important that your dishes can go in the oven. Not all dishes can, so make sure to ask the adult in your life, your parent or your guardian, if the dishes that you've chosen are safe to go in the oven, okay? So we're just going to divide these into our 2 bowls as equally as we can. My bowls are maybe a little bit small, so I'm not going to fill it all the way up. Okay, so those are ready to go. We're just going to set them to the side while we make our topping. So if you're taking our library class, you got a little bag with all of the dried ingredients already ready. So that's flour, sugar, oatmeal, and a little bit of salt. So we're going to add that to a nice big bowl. And then you should also have 2 tablespoons of cold butter. So add those into your bowl as well. Now, you can use a fork, you can use what's called a pastry cutter. I'm just going to mix our crumbly topping together with my fingers. So you're just going to make sure, just pinch it around, okay? It's going to be a little sticky as it warms up in your hands. You just want to make sure that all of the butter is kind of smooshed together with the rest of your toppings, okay? It might take you just a minute. I'll show you what mine looks like here. Okay. So, you can see it's all mixed together. There's no dry parts that haven't been mixed in with your butter. And you're going to divide this into equal parts and put it on top of your blueberries. So it might even help to just separate it in your bowl so that the 2 parts of your topping look about the same, and that way you've got about the same on each one. And then you're just going to sprinkle it on top. Press it down just a little bit, and then add it to your other one. So, everyone's oven is a little bit different. I'm going to set my timer for 15 minutes and I'm going to check and see how it looks. If it's nice and bubbly, I will take it out. If it needs a couple more minutes to get brown, I will leave it in there for just a few minutes longer. One thing that you might want to try to make getting your dishes in and out of the oven a little easier is to put them both on a little pan. And that way, when you go to put them in and take them out, you're not trying to grab these dishes that are very hot. You're just grabbing your one pan with some oven-safe mittens or a pot holder of some kind, okay? So our blueberry crumble is all done. I'll show you mine. It gets nice and golden brown on the top. Just like that. So now you're ready to share with you and a parent, or you and a sibling, or you and a friend. You could always try them with yogurt or whipped cream, or a little bit of ice cream if you want, but they're good just like this. So before we go, let's talk about two of the most important things to remember when you're going to bake a new recipe. The first thing is to read your recipe all the way through. And the second thing is it helps if you have everything laid out in exactly the quantities you need so that your recipe turns out just like you expect. Thanks so much. I hope you had fun. We'll see you next time.